better.
Yeah.
Now, go to your settings of OBS.
Yeah.
File. Settings. Go to the audio again, like you did before, or out. Yeah. Go to your settings. Change it to this thing.
That would be that, I believe. Did you want the audio for this?
No, it wouldn't be that. That's that thing. You want the Realtek. Yep. Hit OK. To this thing. All right. Now try to say the same stuff. Just start talking.
All right. All right. So I think this thing is working right now. I hope it does.
All right. Now try to say the same stuff. Just start talking.
All right.
No. It's off of this.
All right. So I think this thing is working right now. I hope
it's
it
louder,
does.
but here, take your headphones off. See how it's not really. All right, now try to say the same stuff. Just start talking. See how horrible it sounds?
All right.
No, it's off of this.
All right. So
put it
I
back
think this
to
thing is
that
working
thing.
right now. I hope
It's
it
louder,
does.
but see how, take your headphones off. See how it's not really. All right, now try to say the same stuff. Just start talking. See how horrible it sounds?
All right.
No, it's off of this.
All right. So
Put it
I
back
think
to
this thing is
that
working
thing.
right now.
It's
I
doing
hope
it
it does.
because it's but using take your headphones
to loop.
See how it's not really.
Oh, this mic wasn't on. That's why.
I chose the tablet.
Oh, this. Oh, yeah. That. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's doing it because it's using. See how it's not really.
Oh, this mic wasn't on.
I chose the tablet.
Oh, this. We can stream together.
Let me see your microphone real quick. Settings. Testing 1 2 3. 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 Testing. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing. Testing 1 2 3. Let's get testing 1 2 3. Oh gosh, it's in a feedback loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what that is. Feedback loop. Once it starts hearing that negative sound, it's going to keep doing that. So other things you need to keep in mind. Because you have this on a stand and not on one of these, once it starts hearing that negative sound, it's going to keep doing that. So other things you need to keep in mind. Because you have this on a stand and not on one of these, heard that real easily. And also here's keystrokes. It doesn't. So mechanical keyboards, I know they're real cool and they're the end thing.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're not good with streaming because your people don't want to sit. The people who are listening to you don't want to sit and hear you go. Mechanical keyboards. I mean, I have one too, but so investing in a non-mechanical keyboard would probably be good for twitching.
I have a non-mechanical.
Right. I mean, these can remove a lot of the noise if you have the settings correctly on them. They can remove a lot of the noise. Let's look at the settings. Let's look up Blue Yeti Settings. Twitching.
Here's the thing: is that for this Blue Yeti thing, it's only set to one audio,
Okay, it's probably not gonna be super quick.
Go ahead and
but
stop streaming.
Tutorial on how to make your Blue Yeti
so I
sound
won't be
better
able to hear it.
when live streaming on Twitch using OBS.
What's that?
Whenever
So,
I'm like,
the first thing you're gonna want.
if I want to hear the game, it
is
goes
one,
directly to one audio
We're just gonna
output
start out with basics.
for this thing, so I can't hear
You have a
anything.
Blue Yeti.
You should be able to.
Make sure it's
No.
on cardioid mode and make sure your
Yeah.
gain.
See how this thing is set up
I have
to
mine at around 25%. It might be different for you.
if I set
I'll
this
set
to audio
The
device.
playback
Very
device
big
shouldn't be Yeti.
disclaimer here.
Playback device should be
You
your
are going
headphones.
to have to fuck
Yeah.
with and mess with a lot of
You should be
settings
fine.
and a lot of things to get this to work right. Now, if you're uncomfortable with that or you just don't want to do it, completely understandable. I hated it. I hated every second of it. But I'm hoping that this tutorial will
Okay,
fucking
Yeah.
that should be.
kind
Go
of
into the game. You should be able to hear the game fine.
Get you going in the right track a lot
Go into the
quicker
game
than me.
though.
So, the other thing you're going to want to do is, I would say, whenever
Can you hear?
you're going to go into your sound settings, sound
Yeah,
mixer
yeah, you
down
should be
there,
able to. It shouldn't do
and
that.
you're going to go
Yeah.
to your Blue Yeti microphone.
You just need to make sure
you're
everything's,
going
you
to
know,
go to the levels
looking
tab
for the
right
right
here,
spot.
Yeah.
and you are going to go and make sure that your microphone level is set to around. A
Alright,
tutorial on
let's
how to make your
follow
Blue
this
Yeti
guy.
sound better when live streaming on Twitch using OBS. So, the first thing you're going to want to do really is, one, we're just going to start out with basics. You have a Blue Yeti. Make sure it's on cardioid mode and make sure your gain. I have mine at around 25%. It might be different for you.
Hold on. What's cardioid mode? I forget. It's whatever one mine's on. Oh. That's cardioid mode. Let me make sure. Cardioid. Blue Yeti. Blue Yeti. Cardioid. Yep, it's the heart. It's an upside down heart from here, I guess, but it's
Okay.
the heart right there. So it's that one. Remember that.
Very big disclaimer here. You are going to have to fuck with and mess with a lot of settings and a lot of things to get this to work right. Now, if you're uncomfortable with that or you just don't want to do it, completely understandable. I hated it. I hated every second of it. But I'm hoping that this tutorial will fucking, kind of help you out a little bit and get you going in the right track a lot quicker than me. So, the other thing you're going to want to do is, I would say, whenever you go, you're going to go into your sound settings, sound mixer down there, and you're going to go to your Blue Yeti microphone, and you are going to go to the levels tab right here, and you are going to go and make sure that your microphone level is set to around, really you can set to whatever you want, but I would say start with like 50 or 70, and just kind of fiddle with it from there, because realistically 70 is probably where you want to keep it, I would say, because that gives you a lot of versatility. Then after that, you're going to need two programs. You're going to need
Did you do what he said?
Reaper.
I'm trying to
Reaper's
do what he says, but
Just pay attention to him.
I am trying to. It's just too
Get you
fast for me.
going in the right track a lot quicker than me. So the other thing you're
Right
going to
click
want to
down
do
here.
is, I would say,
Recording.
whenever you go, you're going to go into your sound settings.
Find
sound
the
mixer down
Yeti.
there, and you're going to go to your Blue Yeti microphone, and you are
First
going
off,
to
right-
go to the levels tab right
Right
here,
click on the Blue Yeti.
and you are going to go
Make it the,
and
set,
make
the
sure
default
that
device
your
and default
microphone level
communication
is set
device.
to around.
And then
Really, you
right
can set
click
to whatever
properties.
you want, but I would say start with
And then
like 50
put the
or 70,
level. Right click on it.
and just kind of
Properties.
fiddle with it from there, because
Levels.
realistically,
Top.
70 is probably where you want to keep it. I would say
70.
because that
What he
gives
says.
you a lot of versatility.
It's good enough.
Then
Okay.
after that, you're going to need two programs. You're going to need Reaper.
Reaper.
is a digital audio workstation. It's amazing for making music. A lot of people use it, especially for home
I
recording.
don't know if I want to
things
do
like
that.
It's really cheap for what it does. It's like $70 if you want to buy a license, but you don't have to. You can very, very easily.
See, he
just
has his
download
Blue
the
Yeti
free
under his
trial right
face.
here, and
he has one of these.
it works the exact
the
same.
screens in front of it.
It's
See that black
gonna be
thing?
missing a
Yeah.
few features, I think, but
It's a screen.
nothing that you can't.
I haven't
do
invested in anything like that.
Nothing that won't help your mic sound a little bit better. The next thing you're going to want to go ahead and grab is BB Virtual Audio Cable. It's going to be links for all of these are going to be in the description, by the way. Links to the mic, links to
See, I don't think you need to
use
do all
involving
this.
my
I remember
mic,
reading
that's all
about
gonna be down
this,
in the description.
and it
So,
was
you gotta download
complicated.
the
It was
donation
not
link. You
easy.
don't have to donate. You don't have to buy anything. It's completely free. But if you choose to donate, you can. So, really simple stuff. Just go ahead and get those. Now, we're going to go into Reaper right here, right? Now, to give you a...
No,
to
this is too much. I don't want that kind of.
Hello everybody, my name is Oshi Kurosu and welcome. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I get a lot of feedback on my audio quality within my videos, so it's good feedback. Thank you guys very much. One of the most popular questions I get asked is how do I get such high quality audio with my recording? So I'm going to talk to you guys about my equipment, the software that I use, how I set it up, and we're going to go through it there. It's going to be a very short video, so stick with it and let me know what you think about the video. At the end, let me know how do you guys set it up? Do you guys get a better recording? Because I'm always looking to improve. Okay, so first of all, my hardwares. I don't use anything really fancy. I got a Blue Yeti Pro microphone that I've used it ever since I first started recording. It's been really good to me. It did take me a very long time to figure it out because I had nobody else to show me. So I used an internet video. This is what I've learned beyond the videos. So I use a Blue Yeti Pro microphone, just some earbuds, nothing fancy, nothing over the ear, and a 6-inch pop filter. So what I've learned about the pop filter is I've seen some people, and you're going to hear the difference in the audio as I do this, but some people put the pop filters very, very close. Some people have the pop filters very, very far. I like to go, I think 3 inches away is pretty good. I'm a very heavy breather, so you always hear me breathing on my recordings. The pop filter helps eliminate that. One of the other things that I use is, believe it or not, I heard about this somewhere else. Like somebody told me that they use a tube sock, and I thought that was ridiculous. So the inspiration for the tube sock came from, I get a lot of bounce back from my large monitor. I did a couple things, and I ended up cutting a hole in a tube sock, pretty much stuffing it over top. Left a little hole where the audio goes in, and hopefully the stuff on the back stops dampening, or it helps dampen a bit more. Pop filter, tube sock, Blue Yeti Pro microphone. That's the setup. I also use a application called Reaper. It's a
Wow, he does
audio
Reaper too.
workstation. Pretty
Okay.
good. I like it much more than Audacity, which is a free alternative. I used Audacity for a little bit. If you guys happen to listen to my Dark Souls 2 playthrough, you'll notice a huge amount of audio change, both good and bad. So I do a lot of experimenting with my audio, and you should too. Never stop. Don't just be complacent. If you happen to use a digital audio workstation, these are the 4 settings I use, and these are the settings that I found work the best. I use a master limiter, which pretty much just sets a threshold so that when I clap, it doesn't break the sound. You don't get that audio clipping. And if you do, it's not so bad. I also use a compressor under these settings. I use an equalizer, which is a heavy bass boost, a heavier treble boost, and I use a noise gate. Kind of helps a lot of the idle breathing when I'm recording. Anyways, I've been playing the video in the background, so this is kind of what it looks like. But this is pretty much it. This is my setup. Now, as far as it goes, I know a lot of people want to use a noise reduction in their audio. I mean, if you are going to use a noise reduction, I guess you have to. But really, it's probably not necessary. You're going to find the biggest audio quality gains is out of just making your room quiet. My computer does not run very loud. I have no air conditioning, and it is hot as hell in this room right now with a toque on, a sweater on, and just something to throw on camera. But this is part of the sacrifice we have to make. We can't run desk fans and air conditioners and all sorts of shit, because what's going to happen is your audio is definitely going to pick it up. And if you're trying to tune that out with a noise reduction, it's really going to rip your audio apart. Step 1, make sure your room is quiet. This is dead silence in my room. That's it.
Wow.
Step 2, use a pop filter. It really amps up the
That could be a
performance of
problem
your
there for me
microphone.
at my house.
What?
Because I got a door that I can hear through of, and if I can hear it,
Yep.
I'm guessing
Step
you
3,
will.
keep your microphone close. The closer I get to my microphone, the better the audio quality. But I mean, within reality, right? Like I can't be way back here because this is what the audio sounds like. And if I sit right here all the time, then you can't see my face. So you have to find a happy medium. Mine is pretty close. You can see my face. The angle of my webcam shoots it off. The microphone settings, actually. I recorded 100% microphone audio volume. I've seen people use it 80, 60, different, 95%. I use 100%. That's it. My gain is set for just above 9 o'clock. I am obviously I'm on a cardio rig. That's pretty much it. I'm going to show you some comparisons. So just so you see the
Above
difference
9
between the digital audio workstations audio.
What did he say about the
with
volume?
filters and without. And here all the time, then you can't see my face. face. So you have to find a happy medium. Mine is pretty close. You can see my face. The angle of my webcam shoots it off. The microphone settings, actually. I recorded 100% microphone and audio volume. I've seen people use it 80, 60, different, 95%. I use 100%. That's it. My gain is set for like just above 9 o'clock. I'm on a cardioid setting. Well, that's pretty much it. I'm going to show you some comparisons. So just so you see the difference between the digital audio workstation's audio with the filters and without it. So you can see how little of a difference it really makes in the long run. So what should we say? Okay, so here's the sample without any editing. The quick brown fox
Jumps over the lazy dog.
and here's the sample with the editing. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Oh,
I
wow.
guess that's all I have to say. So thank you
Sounds
guys so
better.
much for taking the time to check this out. If you guys liked it or you guys want to know something more
So we really
specific
should-
about what I do,
wish he would
please
show how to
leave
do
a
his
comment
Reaper
below.
stuff.
This is my first kind of how-to video. I don't know if I did it very well. So leave some feedback. Let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Gotta get an old tube sock and put it on my microphone.
Whoa.
I don't know because I'm so far away from my monitor that I don't know that I'm gonna have that bounce back. He's talking like when you talk out there and it bounces back to your microphone there.
I'll be wearing headphones, so it won't be too much of a problem.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff, aka Evan Leak here, and today I have a tutorial video on how to get better quality out of your
THX.
Blue Yeti USB microphone. This is a very popular microphone, and a lot of people get it, and it is fairly expensive, and so that's why I'm making this video, kind of, is that I think a lot of people don't really know how to use it and don't do some simple things that can make your audio 50 times better. And that's what I'm going to share in this video. And by no means am I some huge expert like guys in the movies, audio guys in the movies. I'm not some expert like that, but I'm just kind of an average guy that knows a little bit about his microphone. And I thought I would share all the tips that I've learned in about a year that I've had hardware to say. But they've said they like it, so I'll make a video on how to get it just like me. So yeah. So the first step, and probably one of the biggest mistakes that people make when using this mic, is not eliminating background noise. Like, for example, a fan going in the background or an Xbox running. They all make noise, and that can be something that can really mess up your video's audio quality, and that's something that a lot of people just breeze off and don't think about, but it makes a drastic improvement for your video quality, or your audio quality, I should say. So how to do that is just basically turn off what's there, or move it away, or aim your mic away from that. This is going to go along with setting it to the right setting, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So maybe your Xbox is on the same table as your microphone. Just turn off your Xbox for the time being. If you have to leave it on, then go ahead and leave it on, but maybe try to find a different spot to record or something like that. But you're going to want to eliminate as much background noise. You're just going to want to have it just focused on your voice, and that's it. And that's one of the tips for getting the better quality out of this microphone
What if
box
you
stock
aren't aiming though, dude?
form without
Come on.
any modifications or things like that.
Through your headphones.
The next one is put it on, if you're doing voiceovers, which I'm assuming that you are if you're watching this video, put it on cardioid. This is for like commentating and things like that. If you look on this picture shows it on the cardioid section. It kind of looks like an apple almost. And that's the setting you're going to want to put it on, because what that does is the mic is round.
It's an upside down
The mic
heart.
picks up from 4 different points pretty much, from the side,
Cardioid
both
is
sides, and the front and
cardio.
back.
Heart.
And what you want to do is set it so it's just picking up audio from the front. So if there's a fan behind your mic, your mic won't pick up as much of that breeze and airflow sound as much if you put it on cardioid, because you're canceling out the recording from the back and you're just recording from the front, which won't really make your voice sound better, but it will eliminate a lot of noise. So it's kind of going along with number 1. So make sure you're on that setting if you're doing voiceovers. Alright, so I was just editing the video, and one thing I forgot to mention is that you don't want to aim in, as you see in this picture, you don't want to aim the mic towards you, because the mic picks up from kind of the side of it, or if you kind of
Up
wrap
here.
your finger around it,
Talking
it
about
picks up from that, not from the top. So if you aim it at you, it's not going to pick up that audio as well as if you aim it facing straight up and talk directly into it, as you can see in this picture. So I just wanted to add that in. The next thing is setting the gain. So there's this little knob on the back that you can twist, and it says gain, and a lot of people don't know what that is. And what that is, the simple way to explain it is basically how much the microphone is recording, or how loud it's going to record you. So say I'm talking this loud and the gain is at 0, then you're not going to hear me talking because the gain is going to be at nothing. But then if you turn the gain all the way up, it's gonna sound like I'm screaming into the microphone, or I'm like an inch away from, or like even closer than an inch, like just right on the microphone talking on it. And a lot of people make that mistake. They don't set the gain right. So a lot of times you'll hear people and they're talking like this, and it's really loud, and that's not good. That makes distorted audio, which is just where it sounds like how it did back there. And you're gonna want to set the gain so it's in the right spot, so you get the best audio quality. What I do for this is I just spread it right in the middle, so it's aimed up how it is in the picture. I believe it's like that in the picture, but just aim it straight up, and then set your, if you're using Audacity, I usually talk, this is going to go along with the next one, but I would set it to about 1 or 2 in the input in Audacity, which I'll show a screenshot of where that is, and then you just kind of have to play around with it and good, and you're going to want to always try to maintain the same level of how much you're talking. Like, don't start talking like this, but don't talk like this where you can barely hear you. You're just going to want to keep the same, you're going to want to maintain the same audio pitch or just highness. I don't really even know the words. I'm no expert, guys, but just try to talk in the same level the whole video, and that will get you some great results for that. And then the last thing is the talking distance. This goes along with number 3. I would say that a good talking distance is about from 1 to 3 inches. If you get closer than 1 inch, then your audio is going to become distorted, and you're going to sound like you're like on the microphone. But then if you get to like 4 inches, it still picks it up.
Like when I'm D&D and this thing's right here, I get it.
I mean, then it will also,
I'm usually about, it's usually about right here, something like that. I mean, that's more 1 to 2 inches, but
so I usually stay about maybe 1.5 or 2 inches away from the microphone.
I wouldn't get much more than a foot or 2 away.
And then that usually works out pretty good for me. So those are the top 4
Grandma
things
Boozer
you're
got
going to
one
want
of
to do with the Blue Yeti to get the best quality out of your audio from
with our new PC.
without any accessories or effects or anything like that. That's those are the top 4. I hope you guys learned something from.
Cool. So, kind of keep your everything where it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So you get an idea of how to do it right there.
Cool. Thanks.
You know, I mean, obviously I'm always available. Well, always available, but I'm available to help you out and get on TeamViewer, and I can help you with the settings and stuff like that if you forget them.
Cool. Thanks.
So those Sirvana.
I don't know what happened, dog. Dude on the drive-thru started talking to him.
She live?
You heard him talking. Oh, hell,
Yeah,
dog.
she's
I
still
mean, he
playing.
called us. I didn't even know
I just turned her down.
Oh, yeah, he gunned it out that way, man. I don't know where he is.
Just understand, okay, so at this point, we're probably gonna have a hard time catching up with him. But if you do see him, if like, you know, if you're exposed and he, you know, happens to drive by you or he stops to talk to you, I mean, I don't want to put you in harm's way, but if you feel like you're safe with who you're talking to, you know, just hold him. Hold him, call us up if you can, and then we'll respond. And, you know, we'll wait until you clear scene before we roll in.
Yeah. Dude.
So you're saying that we should track him down?
No, I don't want you to put yourself in harm's way. No. I wouldn't say go looking. I would say if he does roll up on you, though, and that's okay. Like, I mean, I don't want you to be put in that position, but at the same time, you know, if he does come across you on that. So let us know if you do see him as soon as you do, if you can. But yeah, we'll look at him. I don't know. He's probably left city.
I mean, most likely, man. Shit, dude. With that much money, he probably good for a bit, man. I was wondering, I was like, why the hell are you carrying $7 grand on me? She said she bought a car earlier. She bought that, I guess. She got no extra money in the bank.
Steve,
Oh,
and his name is Gerald Chard. Gerald
Yeah.
Chard.
She talking about transportation.
We're talking about my
A little
steed.
bit, dog.
My steed.
Oh, is that what you named your moped? Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay, you're weird.
She's one of the weird ones.
His color.
It's like a type of cheese.